So if you're considering a move to San Diego, this is the list that you need to check out to make sure to avoid these mistakes before your move. My name is Dan Parker with Best Life Home Team, your San Diego real estate resource, and I have 7 different mistakes that you need to avoid before moving to San Diego. And the last one I think is going to be the most important. I have a bunch of resources to help you through this entire process. So the first mistake that you want to absolutely avoid before moving to San Diego is really knowing what your commute is going to look like. Don't underestimate the traffic that we have here in San Diego County. Although there are places that have worse traffic overall, it can still get quite challenging here. And when talking about traffic, there are a couple things to keep in mind. One is the time of day matters. If you are regularly commuting midday, if you're commuting at 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock in the afternoon, you probably aren't going to have as much of an issue. But if you leave your house at 8 o'clock in the morning, or if you go one way versus another on a freeway, or if you are driving up and down the 5 freeway or 805 freeway at 3:30 in the afternoon, these are all going to be very different. So you want to know how the commutes work and how the traffic works here in San Diego, along with when are the main traffic times. I think some of the main issues people run into is when they're going up and down the coast, up and down the main highways at those rush hour times. If you're planning to go from Carlsbad to downtown San Diego every single day from 9 to 5, it's not going to be a great commute. And the solutions here are pretty simple. You can go onto Google, you can add in what the commute is, where you're going from one place to the next, and actually change the time of day that you want to do that commute. Or you can also talk to some locals, see what they say. Talk to some people. If you're going to San Diego for a new job, you can talk to people at that place of employment and see what traffic is like for them when they're coming into the office and where they're coming from. The second mistake I see people make all the time is not considering the interstate challenges when you're moving from another state or another part of the country to San Diego. And specifically, you have the new regulations and laws here in California. So switching over your license within 30 to 60 days as a resident. You also have to update your vehicle registration here in California. It has to have an updated smog check certificate and proof of insurance. It might also cost you some extra money to apply for that. And then of course you have tax regulations and other things that you have to consider. The other aspect of this is the moving logistics, finding a good moving company that can help you move from one side of the country to the other. It might take 7 or 10 days for them to get you all of your items. If you're coming from another country, I've seen it take months for some of those items to get to you. So just understand how long it's going to take for you to get everything you need and figure out what is going to be a plan B, what's a short-term solution while you're waiting for all of your stuff to show up to your new house. It can also be a challenge to figure out when and how to start searching for a home when you don't live here in San Diego. If you're on the East Coast, trying to find a home here in San Diego can be a challenge. Now, if you're looking for a rental, I know a lot of people are trying to find rentals a couple months out, but the reality is that's usually not when they're available. That's usually not when you're going to find them. Go onto Zillow. That's your main source for rentals, and usually within a 30-day period before it's actually ready to be occupied, that's when you're going to find the majority of the rentals. If you're looking to purchase a house, hopefully you're working with someone that can help you relocate virtually. Myself and our team, we specialize in that, so you can always reach out to us. But I know there are 30,000 real estate agents here in San Diego County, and I'm sure a handful of them can help you with that process. The third mistake is ignoring the climate differences. Now, this is not as dramatic as moving from San Diego to somewhere that has a lot of snow, because I don't know what I would do if I had to shovel snow. I don't even know what that's like. I don't know the things that you'd have to consider. Luckily here in San Diego, it does not get that cold. It doesn't get crazy hot. It's a very temperate climate. Now, it does get colder than a lot of people think in the winter time. I had clients not too long ago tell me they were moving from Chicago, that they actually sold their high-end jackets because they aren't planning to wear them anymore, only moved to San Diego and realized we had a pretty darn chilly winter. So you're gonna have some really great days, really sunny, really warm days here in San Diego, but it's not like that year round. We do still get some rain, and it can get quite cold in the winter. Not freezing temperatures, but right along that edge. Mistake number 4 is a big one, and that is failing to prepare for higher costs of living. Now, of course, everyone knows housing here in San Diego is quite expensive, especially when compared to the nationwide average. But did you also know that we have the highest electricity costs across the country? That's right, SDG&E is not a name or a word that people like to hear here in San Diego. There is not a lot of love for the gas and electric company because they continue to raise rates on us. So budgeting for those monthly expenses like gas and electricity. Also, gas for your car is quite expensive here in California. It tends to be more expensive than a lot of places across the US. And part of that has to do with the taxes on the gas itself. As I'm filming this video, we're getting close to $5 a gallon once again. And again, just figuring out how you're gonna be affected by taxes, by property tax, income tax. There's a lot to consider there. And the last thing I think a lot of people don't consider, which is a big one, is if you have kids, childcare, again, is not generally very cheap here in San Diego. The budget that you should probably have is somewhere between $250 to $350 per week for childcare. Now, there might be some better options out there. There might be some cheaper options, some bigger options, some smaller options. There are a lot of options out there, but just know for one child to have childcare could easily set you back $1,000 or more a month. Mistake number 5 is not actually visiting San Diego before making the move. Some of the best advice I have for you is to actually come out and visit, spend some time in San Diego, and don't do the touristy things. Go around to the neighborhoods that you think probably make the most sense. See what is a good fit. See what you really like. Because I have people all the time that reach out and say, Dan, I want to live in a walkable area. So they think they want to live in North Park or South Park, only to come out and realize that there's too much going on. It's not exactly the right fit. It's extremely expensive in those areas, and what you get for your money is maybe not as good as going a little bit farther out, getting a little bit more for your money, and still having the accessibility of those walkable areas. So do yourself a favor, come out and visit San Diego and spend some time figuring out exactly where you want to live. Mistake number 6 is not taking advantage of outdoor activities. And I know this one sounds really simple, but here's the thing. We all think of surfing, we think of kite surfing, we think of mountain biking, but just going out and utilizing the trails. There are trails all over San Diego, hiking trails. There is a lot of public land, a lot of public spaces, a lot of public parks. There's beach access all over the place. And putting time aside to do those free outdoor activities is one of the main benefits of being here in San Diego. And pretty much wherever you end up living in San Diego, I can almost guarantee you're going to be at most 5 or 10 minutes away from a hike. There might be one in your community, so take the time and actually go check them out and spend some time in the outdoors. And mistake number 7, I think, is the most important. We kind of already touched on this, but not researching the neighborhoods, really researching what are the best neighborhoods for you. Now, I specialize in helping people relocate to San Diego, and this is always the first step. If you come out to visit San Diego, I don't want you to find the best house on your first visit. I want you to figure out what neighborhoods are the best fit for you, for your budget, for your family. There are some really great resources out there. I love niche.com to give you general, broad information about the different neighborhoods. You can obviously go to Zillow or Redfin and find homes for sale or homes for rent in those areas to see what your budget can get you. You can also go to Reddit under the Moving to Reddit page and see what people are commenting, or even submit a request, submit a question to the group and tell them what you're looking for, tell them what your budget is, and see what areas they recommend. Or of course, you can reach out to myself and my team. We have a discovery session, is what we call our free 30-minute Zoom meeting, to help you figure out what is the best neighborhood for you if you're looking to buy a home here in San Diego County. Now, you can go down into the description below. You can automatically take a look at my calendar and book a discovery session with myself, completely free, help you figure out what neighborhood is right for you. And I can almost guarantee the neighborhood that's right for you, if you haven't been to San Diego too many times, it's probably not the neighborhood that you're thinking of right now. It probably is going to evolve based on your wants and your needs and what is available. And that's exactly what I can help you with. But in the meantime, check out the other videos that I've made on these specific neighborhoods in San Diego, or comparisons of different neighborhoods in San Diego, including this, which are the best and worst neighborhoods around the county. Thanks so much for watching this video. We'll see you on the next one.